Introduction. I'm feeling very thirsty. Do you have water in your water bottle?
Yeah, take it.
Now I'm feeling fine. Today there is no air around.
You are right. Today is very humid. It is reported in the morning news that today's weather will be humid and it may rain.
Children, in this lesson we will learn about air, water and weather. Objectives. At the end of this lesson, you'll be able to tell the importance of air and water, explain the composition of atmosphere, describe water cycle, define weather and explain various factors on which it depends. Differentiate between weather and climate. Air is very important for almost all life on earth, including plants and animals. Plants need carbon dioxide from air to do photosynthesis and releases oxygen into the air. Human beings and animals need to breathe air to get the oxygen they need to survive. Do you know the atmosphere surrounding Earth is full of air? But what is this atmosphere? Come along to know. The atmosphere is made up of mixture of gases, primarily nitrogen and oxygen, that wrap around the Earth like a blanket. Without the atmosphere, we would not be able to live here. It protects us from the dangerous rays coming from the sun and make Earth as a perfect habitat for plants and animals. We know air is very essential for our life, but did you ever wonder why water was so important? Yes, we need water to drink, to bath, to cook, to wash our clothes, to water plants, and for so many other reasons. It is true that without water, the plants would die and people and animals would go thirsty. So, children, save every drop of water and don't let it go waste. Water is the most abundant substance present on the earth. In fact, our Earth's 70% surface area is covered with water. Do you know Earth is also called as a blue planet because when seen from the space, it appears blue due to water. Water exists in 3 states: solid, liquid, and gaseous. Ice, snow, and frost are examples of water in the solid state. You see liquid water in rivers, lakes, ponds, sea, when it rains, and the water coming out of a tap. Water vapor is a gas in the air. You can't see gas because it is invisible. You will be surprised to know that water makes up 2/3 of the human body. It plays a critical role in regulating body temperature, carries nutrients throughout the body, improves digestion, and eliminates waste from the body. Have you ever wondered where does all the water in rain come from? Well, there is always a certain amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. It comes from the Earth's surface water like oceans, rivers, and lakes. The heat of the sun heats up the water from the surface of these reservoirs and changes water from the liquid state to the gaseous state. This is called evaporation. High up in the atmosphere, water vapors cool down and form clouds. This is called condensation. When the water molecules in clouds begin to collect, they form bigger droplets and fall down as rain snow, or hail, depending upon the temperature. This is called precipitation. Finally, the water reaches the water bodies and gets collected there. Well, you can see water is constantly cycling from land to air and back to land again. This process is known as the water cycle. Therefore, kids, water on our earth will never come to an end. Hey, did you check today's weather forecast? No? What is this weather? Basically, weather is a condition of an atmosphere at a certain place and time. Well, the weather depends on many factors such as temperature, humidity, and air pressure. Come, let us learn about these factors. Probably we all know that temperature is a measure of how hot or cold the air is. It depends upon the energy it receives from the sun. Temperature is measured with the help of a device called thermometer, and it is calculated in degrees Celsius and degrees Fahrenheit. Another important factor influencing weather is humidity. Humidity is the amount of water vapor present in the air. Yes, the air around us is full of water. You can usually see the water evaporates from lakes, oceans, rivers, and even from the trees. When the humidity increases, we sweat a lot and feel sticky and uncomfortable. When the humidity in the air reaches nearly 100%, the air can't hold too much vapors, and if the temperature falls at that place, water vapors return to its original liquid state. As the condensation happens close to the ground, mist and fog is produced. And very high up in the atmosphere, clouds are formed. Eventually, water from the clouds return back to the earth in the form of rain, snow, or hail. What next? Yes, air pressure. You might not realize, but the air around you actually has a weight. We measure air pressure with a device called the barometer. In areas of high pressure, the air slowly descends to the Earth's surface. High-pressure areas are associated with clear sunny days. In areas of low pressure, air rises up into the atmosphere. Low-pressure areas have high humidity, clouds, rain, and other kind of precipitation. Is weather and climate the same? No. Areas' long-term weather patterns determines climate. For example, areas near the equator have warm climate, and the areas near the poles have much colder climate. So, children, now you can easily differentiate weather from climate. Summary. Let us summarize what we have learned. Human beings and animals need to breathe air to get the oxygen they need to survive. The atmosphere is made up of a mixture of gases, primarily nitrogen and oxygen, that wrap around the earth like a blanket. We should save every drop of water and don't let it go waste. Water plays a critical role in regulating body temperature, carries nutrients throughout the body, improves digestion, and eliminates waste from the body. The process of constant cycling of water from land to air and back to land again is called water cycle. Weather is a condition of an atmosphere at a certain place and time. Humidity is the amount of water vapor present in the air. Area's long-term weather patterns determines the climate. Animals. Animals are found in water, in air, and also on land, even on snow and under deep ocean. Animals vary greatly in size and shape. Animals also vary in their body structure and their habits. In spite of all these variations, animals have three basic functions: breathing, feeding, movement. Breathing in animals. Breathing is taking in of fresh air, that is oxygen, and giving off foul air, that is carbon dioxide. Organs of breathing. There are different types of organs for breathing in different types of animals. Birds, reptiles, mammals breathe by lungs. Amphibians breathe by skin. Fish breathe by gills. Insects like cockroaches breathe by spiracles. Some tiny worms like earthworms breathe by body surface. Feeding in animals. As we all know that all living things need energy to keep them alive. They get this energy from food. On the basis of type of food, animals are of three types: herbivorous, carnivorous, omnivorous. Let us first discuss what herbivorous are. Animals that eat plants are known as herbivorous. Example: cow, buffalo, goat, sheep, deer, zebra, rabbits. Likewise, carnivorous are those animals which eat other animals. Example: lion, tiger, cheetah, cat. Omnivorous are those animals which eat both plants and animals. Example: man, bears, dog, crow. Movement in animals. In search of food and shelter to protect themselves or to find mate, animals have to move from one place to another. There are three different types of movement: moving on land, moving in water, moving in air. Moving on land. All the land animals have legs to move. They have 4 legs. 2 front legs are called forelimbs, and 2 at the back are called hind legs. Animals of cat family move by 4 legs. Man and kangaroo move by 2 hind legs. Reptiles have short legs, which help them crawl. Snakes do not have legs, they move by curving and pushing their body against the ground. Moving in water. Water animals like fish have fins and a powerful tail to move in water. Frog has webbed feet to move in water. Turtles and tortoise move with legs like paddles. Moving in air. Birds have light body, which is helpful in flying. Birds fly in air by flapping their wings, which are covered by feathers. They use their legs to perch on the tree and walk on ground. Movement in insects. Most of the insects have 6 legs, which help them to move from one place to another. Ants or cockroaches walk with their legs. Beetles, lice, and bedbugs crawl with their legs. Some insects have strong hind legs, which help them in hopping. Many insects have wings and can therefore fly. Housefly flies with its 2 wings, and dragonflies with 4 wings. Moving long distances, migration. In extreme climatic conditions, some animals move long distances to find food and water, to escape harsh weather, and to find a safe place. This is known as migration. Arctic tern travels a long distance of 17,000 kilometers from Arctic to Antarctic during winter. Some mammals and insects also migrate. Some whales migrate from polar region to tropical oceans during winter. Introduction. Each day we perform many activities. We study, we play, we eat, we run, and many others. Friends, do you know our bones and muscles play an important role in performing all such activities? Bones and muscles are the important parts of our body which make all bodily movements possible. Come on, let us learn more about these in this lesson. Bones and muscles. Objectives. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to know about bones, list the functions of bones, tell about joints, explain different types of joints, know about muscles, describe the two types of muscles, voluntary and involuntary muscles, discuss the functions of the muscles. Every single person has a skeleton made up of many bones. These bones give your body a structure. At birth, a newborn baby has about 300 bones, whereas an adult human body contains approximately 206 bones. What functions do bones perform? Come, let us know. Bones give shape and support to the body. They help in body movements. They protect the delicate vital organs like the brain and the heart in our body. Red blood cells and some types of white blood cells are produced by the marrow present in hollow parts of the bones. What happens if bones are broken? Is it possible to join them? The broken bones can be joined with the help of plaster. The plaster gives the bones support from outside. For the growth and repair of bones, we must eat plenty of protein-rich foods. The bones are fitted together by means of certain structures. These structures are called joints. Joints facilitate body movements. There are of two main types of joints: immovable joints, movable joints. Let us first discuss what immovable joints are. Immovable joints are the joints where no movement of the bones is possible. The joints of the bones of the skull are immovable joints. Most movable joints allow free movement of the body parts, whereas in some joints only a little movement is possible. Movable joints are grouped into 4 types on the basis of movement. Come, let us discuss each type in detail. Hinge joint. These are the joints which can be bent in only one direction. For example, elbow joint and knee joint. The joints which join the bones to make the circular movement possible are called ball and socket joints. For example, the bone in the upper arm is fitted to the bone in the shoulder by a ball and a socket joint. Similarly, the thigh bones is fitted to the hip bone by a ball and socket joint. Friends, have you ever noticed that we can move our hands and our feet in different ways? The joints which allow such movements are called the gliding joints. Joints in the wrist and the ankle are the examples of these joints. Pivot joint. Our neck allows us to turn our head on both sides. Have you ever think what makes this possible? This is possible because of the pivot joint. Friends, make a tight fist and bend your arm at the elbow. Feel your upper arm. it feels harder. This is called the biceps. The biceps are muscles. There are about 600 muscles present in an adult human body. Muscles are made of fibers and are generally attached to the bones by means of tendons. Muscles, along with bones, help to give shape to the body. They also help the different parts of the body to make the movements. According to the nature of their functions, muscles are of two types: voluntary muscles and involuntary muscles. Some actions are performed whenever we wish, like eating, walking, etc. We can start or stop these actions whenever we want. Muscles that carry out these actions act according to our wishes or volition are called voluntary muscles. Movements brought about by voluntary muscles are called voluntary movements. Our arms and legs contain voluntary muscles. The functions of the stomach, intestines, heart go on in a fixed manner. The functioning of these organs is not dependent on our wishes. Such muscles are called involuntary muscles, and their movements are called involuntary movements. For good health, it is important that our muscles are strong and functioning efficiently. Regular exercise makes our muscles strong. The rate of heart's action increases during exercise, and we breathe faster. As a result, plenty of oxygen and nutrients in the blood are supplied to all parts of the body. This makes us feel refreshed and lively. Summary. Let us summarize what we have learned. Every single person has a skeleton made up of many bones. These bones give our body structure. The bones are fitted together by means of certain structures. These structures are called joints. There are two types of joints: movable and immovable joints. Movable joints are of four types: hinge joints, ball and socket joints, gliding joints, and pivot joints. Muscles are made of fibers. Muscles, along with bones, help to give shape to the body. Voluntary muscles and involuntary muscles are the two types of muscles present in our body. Introduction.
Look, Rahul, this robot is walking.
Yes, this robot can do many other works.
Rahul, do you know the difference between living and non-living things?
Ruchika, I know only one difference, that living things move. But if it is true, then why this robot is not considered as living? Children, in this lesson we will learn about characteristics of living things. Life. Life is unique, complex cellular organization of molecules, expressing it through chemical reactions which lead to growth, development, responsiveness, adaptation, and reproduction. Characteristics of living things. Things which depict growth, reproduction, ability to sense environment and mount a suitable response are called living things. Plants and animals both are living. Therefore, biology deals with the study of both plants, botany, and animals, zoology. All living organisms share following basic characteristics: sense and respond to change, growth and development, give off waste, reproduce. Living things have cells. Each living being has a distinct individuality. It cannot be broken into two or more independent parts. The body of a living being is made of one or more cells. Cells are considered to be structural and functional unit of life. The cells are made of protoplasm or living matter. All the body functions and properties of life are due to protoplasm. Some living organisms like amoeba, paramecium are made up of one cell, only they are called unicellular. Organisms made up of many cells are called multicellular. Living things grow and develop. All organisms grow and develop. Growth results in an increase in size, weight, and synthesis of new protoplasm. In animals, growth is limited to a certain age, while plants grow all the life. The use of energy by living things. Living being constantly requires energy not only to perform various activities of the body, but also to overcome entropy, the degree of disorder in a system or tendency to randomness. The source of energy is food. It is required by every cell of the body. Food is prepared by plants by the process of photosynthesis. Plants require sunlight, carbon dioxide, water and chlorophyll for the process of photosynthesis. The living things respire. Living things require oxygen to get energy from the food. They get required oxygen by the process of respiration. During respiration, oxygen is breathed in, and through the blood it reaches each and every cell of the body. Human beings have lungs for respiration. Fishes have gills, and cockroaches have spiracles. Living things sense and respond to change. Consciousness is awareness of the surroundings and responding to external stimuli. The ability of an organism or organ to respond to external stimuli is called sensitivity. Living things reproduce. Young ones grow and become mature. They develop the faculty to produce young ones of their own type. Life comes from pre-existing life. Summary. Let us summarize what we have learned. In the world, there are two types of structures, living and non-living. Living beings are complex entities. All living organisms share some basic characteristics: cellular structure, use energy, grow and develop, sense and respond to change, move, give off waste, and reproduce. The smallest unit of life is cell. Changes in structure and function of every living being with age are called development. A living organism can be unexceptionally differentiated from a non-living thing on the basis of its ability for reproduction.
Introduction.
Mom, I'm very hungry. What is in the lunch today?
Rohan, I have cooked potato curry, beans and rice for you.
Oh no, but I want to eat noodles today.
This is not good, Rohan. You just want to eat junk food all the time. Do you know eating junk food is bad for your health?
Mom, I wonder how food and health are related to each other.
Children, in this lesson we will learn about food and health. Objectives. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to define health, classify food in its types, list the sources of food, tell good eating habits. Health is the word used to describe how your body feels. Being healthy is very important because it makes you feel good and live longer. The most important thing to keep you healthy is to eat the right food. Come along to know about food. Have you ever wondered what happens to our body when our body feels hungry or thirsty? It means our body needs energy, and we can obtain this energy from food. We need food to stay alive and grow. Food is made up of molecules called nutrients like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals. These nutrients have different functions in our body, like they make us grow, give us energy, and protect our body from diseases. So a healthy food is a food rich in nutrients. There are 3 types of food: energy-giving food, body-building food, and protective food. Let us learn about them one by one. Carbohydrates and fats supply our body with energy and keep us alive. Energy-giving food is rich in carbohydrates and fats. Sugar and all the cereals like rice, wheat flour, maize, and barley are the main sources of carbohydrates. Butter, ghee, and all the cooking oils are the main sources of fats. The food rich in proteins is called bodybuilding food. Pulses, nuts, fish, meat, dairy products contain large amounts of protein. Protein is used to build the new parts of the body as well as repairing the old parts. Protective food helps us to fight against diseases. It is rich in vitamins and minerals. A mineral like calcium builds strong bones and teeth. Vitamin E is good for our skin. There are lots of vitamins and minerals in our body to perform different functions. Can you tell from where do we get our food? Yes, we obtain all the vegetables and fruits from the plants. Other than that, animals also provide us food. Can you tell what we should do to stay healthy? Eating a balanced diet, drinking plenty of water, and doing exercise regularly are the ways to stay healthy. A balanced diet includes all the essential nutrients in correct proportions. Always remember to eat balanced diet, drink plenty of water, and do exercise regularly in order to stay healthy. Germs are everywhere around us. They spoil our food and make us ill. Come, let us learn some good eating habits. Always wash your hands with soap before and after eating. Cut short your nails once in a week. Wash raw fruits and vegetables before eating. Eat only healthy food and avoid junk food. Summary. Let us summarize what we have learned. Health is the word used to describe how your body feels. Food is made up of molecules called nutrients like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals. There are 3 types of food: energy-giving food, bodybuilding food, and protective food. Energy-giving food is rich in carbohydrates and fats. The food rich in proteins is called bodybuilding food. Protective food helps us to fight against diseases. Plants and animals are the sources of food. Eat balanced diet, drink plenty of water, and do exercise regularly in order to stay healthy.
Introduction. Shyam and Ram are at their uncle's farmhouse. They are playing around the trees. They are happy to see ripe guavas on the tree.
Uncle, can we have some guava to eat?
Sure, I will get guava for both of you.
It is so delicious, Uncle.
Look at that bird. Even the bird is enjoying ripe guavas.
Yes, you know that animals get so many things from plants like fruits, shade, oxygen, etc.
But do you know that animals also give many essential things to plants?
Really?
Uncle, please tell us more about it.
Okay, let's know more about the interdependence of living things. Do plants depend on animals? Animals get food, oxygen, and shelter from plants. Do they give anything to plants in return? Yes, plants need carbon dioxide to produce their food. When animals breathe out, they release oxygen and help the plants in making their food by process of photosynthesis. Plants depend largely on animals to produce their seeds via seed dispersal. Do you know how? Let us see this. Many insects, bees and butterflies carry the pollen grains in lower part of legs when they sit to suck nectar from flowers and move from flowers to flowers. They spread the pollens carried by their legs. This is how they spread the plant seeds. The brightly colored sweet-tasting pulp of fruits attracts the birds and animals. Birds and animals eat the fruit and help in spreading the seeds. This way, the animals help plants to survive and flourish. Forest and forest communities. Have you seen these people? These are tribals. The tribal people collect tree leaves and fruits. The tribals earn their livelihood from the forest products like gums, vegetative plants, medical plants, and honey. They get food as well as medicines from the different types of plants found in the forest. Tribals worship trees like banyan and peepal. This respect for the trees helps in their preservation. Importance of forest. Shyam is overwhelmed to see the greenery of forest. Forests have lot of contribution to our life. Let us have a look at a few of them. Air. Forest purifies the air by releasing oxygen. Medicine. Many forest plants are the source of medicine. All the parts like roots, barks, and leaves have medicinal value. Water. Forests improve water quality by slowing and filtering rainwater. They also protect the watersheds. Wood. We get timber from forests to build furniture, ships, and houses. Food product. We get many varieties of fruits and honey from the forest. Shade. By cooling the air and ground around them, the shade from the forest trees help to cool Earth's temperature. Cooling. Forests help in absorption of solar heat during evaporation and transpiration. Carbon dioxide level. They help to maintain the carbon dioxide level and hence give a boost to plant growth. Local climate. They help in maintaining the local climate and hence help fight climate change. Destruction of forest. When Shyam, Ram and their uncle reached the other end of forest, they saw some people were cutting the trees. Why are you cutting these trees?
We have to grow paddy in this land.
Uncle told Shyam and Ram that due to growing population and increased demand of grains, the forests are being transformed into cultivation land. Most deforestation is due to conservation of forests into agricultural land. Countless cutting of trees due to logging operations lead to more destruction. The most severe impact of deforestation
is the loss of habitats for millions of species. Deforestation also causes climate change because trees absorb the greenhouse gases. It leads to global warming. We can't survive without trees, and that we have to understand. Protecting forest. We need to protect forest. The first and foremost step to protect the forests is to stop cutting trees in large numbers in order to develop agricultural lands or for living. It is also necessary to stop killing, or in other words, poaching of wildlife animals for their skins and horns or teeth. Government laws against the killing of animals should be strictly implemented. The protected forest area is called wildlife sanctuaries. Project Tiger. Suddenly, Ram saw a board written, "Save the Tiger." He asks his uncle that why "Save the Tiger" is written on this board. His uncle replied him that man from the very beginning has been involved in poaching to satisfy his greed for animal skin, bones and claws. He did not care for its effect on the diversity of the world. As a result, we have already made some species fade away from Earth forever. Indian tiger is also one of them. Government of India has taken the initiative to save the tigers. This is called the Project Tiger. In this project, government takes care of the forests where tigers live. These forests are called tiger reserves. Killing tigers and cutting trees in these forests is a punishable act. Summary. Let us summarize what we have learned. Plants give food, shelter, and oxygen to animals. Animals help plant by providing carbon dioxide that plants need to make food. Birds and animals help plants in dispersal of seeds. Tribals earn their livelihood from the forest products like gums, vegetable plants, medical plants, and honey. Roots, barks, and leaves of many forest plants are the source of medicine. We get timber from forests to build furniture, ships, and houses. We get many varieties of fruits and honey from the forest. Forests help in absorption of solar heat. We can protect forests by stop cutting trees in large numbers in order to develop agricultural lands or for living. Killing or poaching of wildlife animals for their skins and horns or teeth. In Project Tiger, government takes care of the forests where tigers live.
Natural calamity. Next day, Meena reached school. All the other students in class were curious about the incident. A student, Rashmi, asked the teacher,
"Teacher, I'm keen to know what exactly happened yesterday."
"We experienced an earthquake yesterday. It is a natural calamity. The natural occurrence that leaves a disastrous effect on the area where it occurs are called natural calamities." Earthquake.
How does the earthquake occur?
When there is a sudden change, deep inside the earth, it shakes the earth's crust, causing earthquake. When earthquake takes place, the ground shakes. When the shaking is severe, at places the ground cracks open. Effects of earthquake.
Do the walls of the building fall during the earthquake?
Yes, if the buildings are weak, the buildings and houses get severely damaged. People and animals may get injured and may even get killed. There is great destruction to property. Even dams get cracked and collapsed during severe earthquake. Bursting of dams results into flood. Flood. Let me tell you about floods. Floods occur due to heavy rainfalls. When it rains heavily, rivers overflow and submerge the surrounding areas. Water collects in houses, shops, roads, farms, and damages the properties. Floods destroy life and property. People become jobless and it leads to their migration towards cities as laborers and other daily wage workers. Drought. We now understand that flood occurs due to plenty of rainfall. So, what is the case when there is no rainfall? Yes, it will lead to another kind of natural disaster that is known as drought. So we can say that the drought occurs when there is very little rainfall or no rainfall at all. During droughts, the rivers, ponds, wells, and other water resources dry. There is no water to plow the fields, and even drinking water is hardly available. There is shortage of food grains and water. Cyclone. Children, do you know what is a cyclone? In case of cyclones, the spiral wind travels at great speed. Strong winds, traveling with very high speed, uproot trees, houses, electric poles, and destroy all the things come their way. Cyclones occur especially in coastal areas. Lightning. Students, you know that lightning is also a natural disaster. During the rainy season, when the sky is filled with dark clouds, we see flash of lightning in the sky. The lightning may strike the buildings, trees, or a field. When lightning strikes, the existing things at that place burn. Sometimes animals and even people die due to lightning. Tsunami. Students, you must have heard about tsunami. A very long, high series of sea waves is called a tsunami. It causes a lot of damage to people and property near the sea. Tsunamis are a series of ocean waves produced by underwater earthquake, landslide, and volcanic eruption. These waves are 30 meters high and 200 kilometers long and travel at the speed of 200 to 300 kilometers per hour. After effects and relief. Floods, droughts, storms, earthquakes, lightning, landslides, and tsunami all are natural calamities. They cannot be prevented. They cause great damage. This results in tremendous losses. It is very important to remember that when such calamities occur, lives must be saved first, and then only attempt to prevent the damage to other important things should be made. Government also helps the calamity-affected people by setting the Disaster Management Committee. This committee helps the victims of such events. We, as responsible citizens of the country, should help the government in whatever way we can. Summary. Let us summarize what we have learnt. Sudden movement within the earth shakes the earth crust and causes the earthquake. Floods occur due to heavy rainfall. Rivers overflow and submerge the nearby area. Drought occurs when there is very little rainfall or no rainfall at all. There is shortage of food grains and water after drought. Cyclones, the strong spiral wind traveling at great speed. Cyclones destroy all the things come their way. Cyclones occur especially in coastal areas. Flash of lightning occurs when the sky is filled with dark clouds. Lightning burns everything where it strikes. When large amount of earth and rocks fall from high mountains to a valley, it is called a landslide. Tsunamis are series of ocean waves produced by an underwater earthquake, landslide, or volcanic eruption.
Introduction.
Look, Ruchika, there is a new plant arising in the soil.
Yes, there are only 2 small leaves coming up in the soil.
Ruchika, do all the plants grow up like this only?
No, Rahul. There are many other methods by which plants give rise to new plants.
Children, in this lesson, we will learn about how plants reproduce. Reproduction. The process by which an organism produces new organisms of its own kind is known as reproduction. Reproduction in plants. Plants reproduce in different ways. Most of the flowering plants produce seeds. Some plants do not produce seeds. They produce spores which can grow into a new plant. Some plants can reproduce from their body parts. Example, potato can be developed from underground stem having buds on it. Rose, money plant, sugarcane can be developed from stem cuttings. Bryophyllum can be developed from its leaves. Sweet potato grows from its roots. New plants from seeds. Flowering plants produce seeds. Each seed produced by a plant has a baby plant inside it. It is called embryo. The seed is surrounded by a tough covering called seed coat, which protects the baby plant and prevents the drying up of seed. Seed germination. Seeds start germinating in favorable conditions. Water, air, and warmth are required for a seed to germinate. When a seed absorbs water, it swells up and the seed coat becomes soft. The roots of the germinating plants appear first and grow towards the earth. After it, the shoot germinates upwards towards sunlight. And after that, leaves start growing up on the shoot. The young plant is called seedling, which grows into an adult plant. Dispersal of seeds. What will be the condition of an area where all the seeds are grown near the parent plants? There will certainly be a shortage of space, water, minerals and sunlight, so all the plants will not grow properly. Most of them will naturally die. So, it is necessary that the seeds of plants should be scattered over large distances. Nature has arranged some methods of seed dispersal in many ways, like by water, wind, animals, and even man is useful in dispersing seeds. These are known as agents of dispersal. Wind. Seeds which are light in weight and have wings or feathers, example, cotton, dandelion, maple. Explosion of fruits. Some fruits, when ripe or dry, burst open and their seeds are thrown away. This process is known as explosion of fruits. Example, geranium, balsam, pea. Crops. Several plants which are grown in fields by farmers and are useful in various ways are known as crops. Crops are mainly of 3 types. Food crops, example, wheat, rice and vegetables. Fiber crops, example, cotton and jute. Oil-producing crops, example, mustard, sunflower and peanut. The crops which are grown in winter season are called rabi crops. Example, wheat and gram. The crops which are grown in summer are called kharif crops. Example, rice, jowar, maize, bajra. Different types of crops require different amounts of sunlight, water, air, and type of soil. Getting good yield from crops. To get a good yield from crops, following things should be kept in mind. Healthy seeds of best variety should be used. Before sowing the seeds, soil should be prepared by ploughing and adding manure or fertilizers to it. Soil should be watered at right time and with right amount of water. Crops should be protected from diseases and harmful insects and animals. Insecticides and pesticides should be sprayed in correct quantities. Crops should be protected from grazing animals. Harvested crops should be stored properly to protect it from moisture. Moisture causes growth of fungi and bacteria. Crops should also be protected from rats, insects, and other animals. Summary. Let us summarize what we have learned. There are various methods of reproduction in plants. Flowering plants reproduce by seeds. Seed germination takes place in favorable conditions. Seeds of plants are dispersed to large distances by wind, water, animals, and man. Different types of crops require different climatic conditions to grow properly. We can get good yield of crops by providing proper conditions to it. Crops should be well protected and looked well after.
Introduction.
Wow, Mama! It's really interesting. So many types of rocks. I have learned that the early man used to produce fire by rubbing the rocks.
Yes, dear, you are right. Even in today's world, rocks are widely used in everyday life.
Wow, so colorful. What are these, Mama?
These are minerals, dear.
Students, the whole earth is made of different rocks and minerals. Come along to know more about these in the lesson, Rocks and Minerals. Objectives. At the end of this lesson, you'll be able to know about rocks, discuss the three types of rocks, igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic rocks. Learn about minerals. Give the examples of minerals. List the uses of rocks and minerals. Rocks are all around us. You can see rocks in your yard, on your street, on a road, everywhere you look. Pencil, lead, chalk, bricks are all rocks. Any natural mass of matter that makes up the earth's crust is called a rock. Do you know sand and mud are also rocks? Rocks can be of different size and color. The process that breaks rocks down into smaller pieces is called weathering. We now know that the earth's crust is made up of various types of rocks. The three major types are igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks. Let's study about them in detail. Igneous means made from fire. When volcanoes erupt, it causes the liquid rock to rise above the ground. When this liquid rock is present inside the earth, it is called magma. This magma cools and becomes solid. Rocks thus formed are called igneous rocks. They are also called primary rocks. Granite is an example of igneous rock. The second type of rock is sedimentary rock. These are also called sitting rocks. Rocks roll down, crack, and hit each other. Then they are broken down into small particles. These smaller particles are called sediments. The sediments are transported and deposited by wind, water, etc. These loose sediments are compressed and hardened to form layers of rocks. These types of rocks are called sedimentary rocks. Limestone and sandstone are the examples of sedimentary rock. The third type of rock is made out of the first two types. These are metamorphic or changed rocks. Igneous and sedimentary rocks can change into metamorphic rocks under great heat and pressure. For example, clay changes into slate and limestone into marble. Uses of rocks. Rocks are very useful to us. Rocks are used in games like pittu, hopscotch, that is, stapu, etc. The hard rocks are used for making roads, houses, and buildings. Rocks are also used to build aluminium baseball bats, washing machines, video games, airplanes, cars, jewelries, etc. Introduction.
Wow, Mama, it's really interesting. So many types of rocks. I have learned that the early man used to produce fire by rubbing the rocks.
Yes, dear, you are right. Even in today's world, rocks are widely used in everyday life.
Wow, so colorful. What are these, Mama?
These are minerals, dear.
Students, the whole earth is made of different rocks and minerals. Come along to know more about these in the lesson, Rocks and Minerals. Minerals. We have learnt about rocks. All rocks are made of minerals. Wondering what minerals are? Come, let us know. Think of a chocolate cookie as a rock. The cookie is made of flour, butter, sugar, and chocolate. The cookie is like a rock, and the flour, butter, sugar, and chocolate are like minerals. Thus, minerals are naturally occurring pure substances from which rocks are formed. There are about 3,000 different minerals in the world, among which diamond is the hardest mineral. Quartz and calcite are two common examples of minerals. Examples of minerals. Minerals are very important to humankind. Some minerals are used as fuels, for example, coal, natural gas, and petroleum. Some are used in industries like iron, copper, aluminium, platinum, etc. Minerals like gold, lithium are used in medicines. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium are used in fertilizers. Gold, silver, diamond are used in jewelry. Uses of minerals. Minerals play an important role in our lives. Let's discuss some of the uses of it. Minerals are used in the production of cement. It is used in making glass, electrical components, and optical lenses. These are also used in fertilizers, medicines, coins, and jewelry. Minerals are naturally occurring pure substances from which rocks are formed. Quartz and calcite are the common examples of minerals. Rocks and minerals are widely used in our lives.
Introduction. Roly and her mother came out from their house to go to the market. While closing the gate, they saw a cyclist coming with speed, suddenly skidded and fell down in front of their house. Roly helped the person to stand who was in pain. Her mother told Roly not to worry and gave him the first aid. Let us discuss about first aid today. First aid for minor cuts and falls. Ram was playing in the garden during evening. He and his friend decided to have a race. Ram and his friends lined up and on whistle started running. Suddenly, Ram lost balance and fell down. He had a cut on his hand. Blood started coming out. You must have seen such a situation. If you have a minor cut, don't panic. In case of minor cuts, the blood stops on its own. If it doesn't, then press the wound with a clean cotton or towel until it stops. Clean the wound with warm water containing few drops of Savlon or Dettol. Allow the wound area to dry thoroughly. Apply antibacterial cream and bandage the wound. First aid for a bleeding nose. Nosebleed is quite common in children and sometimes occurs in adults too. In case of nosebleed, sit in a comfortable position, slightly leaning forward. Gently pinch the lower soft part of the nose for 10 minutes. Apply a cool wet cloth to the bridge of the nose. Once the bleeding stops, don't prick or blow nose for 24 hours. If bleeding continues, call a doctor. First aid for bone injuries. Rohan was out for his morning walk. He stepped on an unleveled ground and sprained his foot. A sprain, broken bone, needs immediate attention. In case of such injury, don't move the affected part. Apply support with splints or folded newspaper to prevent further injury. Apply cold packs or a bag of ice wrapped in cloth to the injured area. Keep the injured person lying down or under rest until medical help arrives. In case of sprain injuries, RICE is the immediate treatment. R means rest the injured part of the body. I means apply ice or cold water to the injured part. C means wearing an elastic bandage helps to reduce swelling. E means keep the injured part elevated. First aid for minor burns. Seema was boiling milk. The saucepan slipped and the hot milk spilled on her hand. She got a burn in her hand. Burns are of 3 types: first degree, second degree, and third degree burns. Burns generally come from fire, exposed electrical wires, and chemicals. All the burns need to be treated to reduce the heat of the burnt area and reduce the damage of the skin. In case of first-degree burn, remove the cloth from the affected area, run cool water over it. Do not apply oil or butter. Apply burn gels or cream to the affected area after drying it. First aid for major burns. When the extent of damage of tissues is large, it is categorized as major burn. In case of major burn, approach for the medical help immediately for the second and third degree burns. Follow the instructions for first degree burns. Major burn. Do's and don'ts. Do's and don'ts in case of major burn. Keep the burnt area elevated. Run cool water over all types of burns to reduce the heat in the affected area. Do not keep the affected area under ice water. Do not rub the burnt area with ice. Do not apply oil or butter. Do not remove the stuck clothes. Insect sting. Insect bite and sting cause immediate irritation to skin. The ant bite and stings of bees and wasps are painful. Remove the stinger by scraping a straight-edged object across the stinger. Wash the area with mild soap and water. Place ice wrapped in cloth on the area of the sting. Apply a cream that reduces itching. First aid for animal bite. Animals attack when they are provoked or in danger. Even the minor animal bites and scratches may lead to complication. To treat a minor bite, first wash your wound thoroughly with soap and flowing water. Wash the hands also well after cleaning the wound to avoid the infection. Then cover the wound with antibiotic ointment and clean bandage. Consult doctor for further treatment as you may need a tetanus shot. It is must to take doctor's suggestion in case of punctured or broken skin. In case of major bite after giving the first aid, take the necessary medical help. Snake bite and symptoms. Snake bite can be dangerous. If the snake is poisonous, it needs immediate emergency medical help. Snake bite may be fatal if not treated quickly. The main symptoms of snake bites are bleeding from wound, blurred vision, convulsion, fainting, numbness and tingling, rapid pulse, tissue death, severe pain, skin discoloration, weakness, thirst. Some do's in case of snake bite. Keep the person calm and keep the affected area below the level of ear to reduce the flow of venom. Remove rings or constricting items as this area may swell. Some don'ts. Do not allow the person to become overexerted. Do not scratch the area. Do not try to suck venom by mouth. Do not give medication without doctor's suggestion. Do not raise the area of bite above the level of the person's heart. First aid for drowning. Drowning occurs when someone submerges and suffocates in water. To revive a drowned person after rescuing is equally important for saving a life. Call for emergency medical help. Turn the drowning person's head to the side so that the water may drain from his or her mouth and nose. After a few minutes, turn the head back to the center. Breathe mouth to mouth strongly 4 times into the mouth of the injured person as you pinch his or her nose. This helps air clear away any water that is clogging the breathing passage and the lungs. After 4 strong breaths, put your ear near the mouth and watch the chest for any breathing movement. Check the pulse for signs of life. Again, every 1 minute, repeat mouth-to-mouth breathing till the person starts breathing or the medical help arrives. Safety during and after earthquake. Safety during an earthquake. If you're inside your house, take cover under a study desk or table or stand in the corners of a room. Don't stand close to exterior walls and windows, tall furniture, and hanging pictures or mirrors. If you're in the kitchen, put off the stove before you take cover. Put off the main electrical switch of the house. If you're outdoors, get into the open space, which is away from buildings and power lines. If you're driving, do not stop under or near electrical power lines, light posts, trees, or signs. Stay in your car until the earthquake is over. Safety after earthquake. Ensure that everyone is safe. If needed, call for emergency help in the area. Check for your immediate location for safety. Do not put on electrical switches or appliances without ensuring that they are functioning perfectly. Stay away from downed power lines and never touch wires lying on the ground, wires hanging on poles, or objects that may be touching them. Drowned wires still may be carrying current and could shock, injure, or even kill if touched. Safety during and after flood. Keep the emergency supplies with you. Stay informed by listening to the radio or television for situation of flood, evacuation instructions, and about the routes in the area. Never ignore an evacuation order of authority for the safety of you and your family. If you have time, switch off the electrical appliances. Put off the main supply of gas, electricity, and water. Do not touch electrical equipment if you are wet or standing in water. Avoid flood waters, as water may contain raw sewage, harmful bacteria, or electrically charged from the broken power lines. Only return home after the area is declared safe. Clean up the house wearing gloves and boots. Do not use the flood-contaminated water for washing, cooking, and bathing. Prevent and treat injuries due to exposure to flood waters. Prevent illness initiated by flood water or contaminated items. Use clean, boiled or disinfected water for drinking and cooking and personal hygiene. Throw away any food that may have come in contact with flood water. Safety during and after cyclones. Safety during cyclones. When the cyclone strikes, disconnect all electrical appliances. Stay in touch through your battery radio for updates. Stay inside the house in the strongest part of the building. Be ready with the evacuation and emergency kits. Protect by covering yourself with quilts, rugs or blankets under a strong table or bench if the building starts cracking. Safety after cyclone. Do not go outside till it is declared safe. Do not switch on the electrical appliances if wet. Listen to local radio for official warnings and advice. If you have evacuated the home after the order of authority, do not return until advised. Be careful of fallen power lines, damaged buildings and trees, and do not go near the flood waters. Summary. Let us summarize what we have learned. In case of minor cuts after cleaning the wound, apply antibacterial cream and bandage the wound. In case of nosebleed, sit slightly leaning forward and gently pinch the lower soft part of the nose for 10 minutes. Apply a cool wet cloth to the bridge of the nose. Do not prick or blow nose for next 24 hours. Rise. Rest, ice, compression, elevation are the 4 basic elements of immediate treatment for bone injuries and sprain. Run cool water over all types of burns to reduce the heat in the affected area. Do not apply oil or butter. For 2nd and 3rd degree, approach the medical help immediately. Follow the instructions for 1st degree burns. In case of insect sting, move the stinger by scraping a straight-edged object across the stinger. Wash the area with mild soap and water. Snake bite from poisonous snakes needs immediate emergency medical help. Snake bite may be fatal if not treated quickly. Breathe mouth to mouth strongly for several times to restore the respiration of the drowned person. Keep the emergency kit ready and follow the instructions of authority during earthquake, flood, cyclones and other natural disasters.
Introduction. Rohan and Rima were playing in the garden. They were swinging on a seesaw.
Rima, I like playing on this swing.
Yes, even I like to move up and down.
Do you know we are sitting on a machine?
Machine? Where is it?
This seesaw itself is a machine.
How interesting! Kids, let us learn more about simple machines in this chapter. When is work done? Hey, I am running. I use energy when I run. So energy is the ability to do work. Now, it's time for weightlifting. These are dumbbells. Uplifting the dumbbell is a heavy work. We apply force using energy. We get energy from the food we eat. While using this energy, we can move an object. This movement of an object is known as work. Simple machine. Let us define simple machines. Machines that have few or no moving parts are called simple machines. The beauty of the simple machines is that they are used as extension of our muscles. There are 6 types of simple machines. They are inclined plane, wheel and axle, pulley, lever, wedge and screw. We will learn about each machine in detail, but after a short activity. Inclined plane. An inclined plane is a flat surface that is higher at one end, and it makes work easier. Equal to longer distance takes less effort. It is a simplest machine because nothing moves to make it work. A ramp, a slide, and stairs are the examples of inclined plane. Wheels and axle. Do you enjoy riding bicycle? Then you are using the simple machine, wheel and axle. In this, a wheel turns on a post to help move things quickly and easily. The wheels in a bicycle, steering of car, doorknob are also the examples of wheels and axles. Pulley. See this boy. He is taking out the water from the well, but he is not able to pull the bucket. Now he is pulling the bucket of water with the help of pulley. A pulley uses a wheel and a rope to lift the load. Since it is used to pull the things, that's why it is called pulley. It is used in crane, a flagpole, and a mini blind. Levers. How do you think a seesaw works on the ground? As such, you cannot lift your friend so high. But when you are at the other end of seesaw, it is so easy to lift him. When you and your friend are sitting at the two ends of the seesaw, it has a fixed point at center. This fixed point is called fulcrum. The force you apply to lift your friend is called effort. Your friend at the other end is the load. A lever is a straight bar that moves on a fixed point. A lever helps you to move a load easier. The examples of lever are seesaw, plier, and a bottle opener. There are 3 types of levers. Let us discuss them in detail in our next screen. First class lever. Can you lift a giant stone with your hands? The answer is no. But you can do it easily with help of a stick, which is a first class lever in this case. In first class lever, fulcrum is at center. It is located anywhere between the load and effort. Crowbars and scissors are the example of first-class livers. In case of scissors, fulcrum is at the center. It is fixed and effort is to put from the back and load is from front. Second-class liver. It seems these children are enjoying the ride on this wheelbarrow. Their father is using a second-class liver to carry them. In the second-class liver, effort is on one side, the fulcrum at the other side, and load at the center. A wheelbarrow, a nutcracker, or a bottle opener are the examples of second-class liver. Third-class liver. Many people enjoy fishing. For this, they use a fishing rod, which is a third-class liver. In case of fishing rod, effort is in the center, load is on one side, and fulcrum at another end. This type of liver is called the third-class liver. Arm, fishing rod, broom, stapler are the examples of third-class livers. Screws. Screw is also a simple machine. It looks like a nail with grooves. A screw is an inclined plane wrapped around a shaft. It takes less force to turn a screw because a screw moves a longer distance. A screw, a corkscrew, and a jar lid are the examples. A nail comes out easily, but a screw doesn't. We can hang up the loads on the screws on the walls. We can close a jar tight with the help of screws. The screw in a jack moves and takes the car up. A simple screw can lift a car. That is the reason it is called a simple machine. Wedges. A wedge is a two inclined planes together used to raise an object or split an object. Knife, axe head, screwdriver, chisel are few examples of wedges. Summary. Let us summarize what we have learnt. Work is result of force moving an object. Lifting something heavy is hard work. Machines that have few or no moving parts are called simple machines. There are 6 types of simple machines. They are inclined plane, wheel and axle, pulley, lever, wedge and screw. An inclined plane is a flat surface that is higher at one end. It makes the work easy. In wheel and axle, a wheel turns on a post to help move things quickly and easily. A pulley uses a wheel and a rope to lift the load. A lever is a straight bar that moves on a fixed point. A lever makes it easier to move a load. In first-class liver, fulcrum is at center. Effort is at one side and the load is at another side. In the second-class liver, effort on one side, the fulcrum at other side and load at the center. In third-class liver, effort is between the load and the fulcrum. A screw is an inclined plane wrapped around a shaft. Two inclined planes together forming a sharp edge is called a wedge.
Introduction. Wow! A greenery all around. I enjoy this in the village. But that land is vacant. Why is it so, Dad? Sahil, that land is no more fertile. But long before, different types of crops used to grow over there. Then how the land becomes infertile? Due to soil erosion, my son. Soil erosion? What is that, Dad? Children, Soil erosion is one of the major environmental problems in today's world. Come along to know more about it in this lesson, Soil Erosion and Conservation. Objectives. At the end of this lesson, you'll be able to define soil erosion, list the factors responsible for soil erosion, explain the effects of soil erosion on environment, discuss the preventive measures for the control of soil erosion. It is everywhere. We walk on it, we drive on it, and we grow plants on it and so on. Wondering what is it? It is soil. Soil is the uppermost layer of the earth's surface. It consists of a mixture of rock, finely ground into powder, water, air, minerals, and a variety of living and dead life forms. It serves as a natural medium for growth of plants. Most soils contain 4 basic components: water, air, mineral particles, and organic matter. But the fertility of soil has decreased significantly. This is mainly because of soil erosion. Come, let us learn about it. The natural removal of soil by the action of water or wind is called soil erosion. Look at the images. The disappearances of topmost surface and large ditches in the ground are the signs of soil erosion. Friends, come let us know the factors which causes soil erosion. The most common factors are water and wind movements. Water flowing through ground carries away soil with it. During rain, the soil particles are detached by raindrops. These soil particles are carried away by the running water. Floods are also the main cause behind the soil erosion. The other agent responsible for soil erosion is the wind. Wind picks up the finer soil particles and takes it to the other location. During storms, the heavy wind takes away the bigger soil particles to a distant place, and that causes soil erosion. Though soil erosion is in itself a naturally occurring process, but in many cases increased by human activities. Some of these include deforestation, overgrazing by animals, improper or excess amount of farming practices, trail building, overuse of chemical fertilizers, housing construction, mining, etc. Soil erosion leads to many unfavorable conditions. It results in the loss of soil and breakdown of the soil structure. It decreases the soil fertility due to decrease in the amount of organic matter. It also reduces the moisture content of soil, resulting in drought condition. Decrease in soil fertility leads to decrease in the quality and quantity of the crops. Thus, soil erosion affects the natural vegetation badly, which leads to transfer of fertile land into a desert. Due to soil erosion, the soil shifts and accumulates on the roads and streets. This blocks the driving and results in accidents. It also blocks many irrigation canals. It increases the risk of flooding. The eroded soil deposits in water resources like river, lake, etc. and pollute them. Soil erosion is a major environmental problem. It has affected all over the world, from forests to deserts. Thus, it's the need of the hour to conserve the soil by preventing the soil erosion. There are many ways of preventing soil erosion. One of the most common ways is to grow more and more trees. The roots of trees hold the soil firmly and do not allow it to wash away easily. Trees planted across the wind direction protect soil against the high-velocity winds. Controlling overgrazing of the land by animals also controls the soil erosion. Building dams control soil loss. Some modern techniques of farming need to be practiced. For example, different types of crops should be grown at different times on the same land. Different types of crops should be grown in the alternate rows in the same land. These practices control the loss of soil and increase the fertility of soil. Remember, friends, soil is a precious natural resource, and it is our duty to conserve it for keeping the environment healthy. Summary. Let us summarize what we have learned. Soil is the uppermost layer of the earth's surface. The natural removal of soil by the action of water or wind is called soil erosion. Water and wind movements along with human activities are responsible for soil erosion. Soil erosion decreases the fertility of soil and affects the natural vegetation badly. Growing large number of trees and practicing modern techniques of farming can control soil erosion. Introduction.
Watching moon is a fun thing to do. I have one question, Papa. May I ask you?
Sure, my dear.
Why are we able to see moon from Earth and not other planets?
Good question, Ria. Actually, moon is very close to the Earth, whereas other planets are very far in the space. Do you know moon shines because of the sun?
I didn't know that. This is so interesting. I want to know more.
Children, in this lesson we will learn about the moon. Objectives. At the end of this course, you'll be able to tell why the moon shines so brightly, define lunar month, discover different features on the surface of the moon, describe the 4 theories of moon formation, discuss the gravitational pull of moon and its structure. Moon is the Earth's only natural satellite. It is the second brightest object in the sky after the sun. But moon does not have any light of its own. The light you see is actually from the sun reflecting off the surface of the moon. So, if the sun wasn't there, we would not be able to see the moon. You must have noticed that the moon does not always appear as a perfect circle. Do you know why? Because it goes through phases. The changing shape of the bright part of the moon that we see is called its phase. Sunlight strikes the moon at different angles throughout its journey around the Earth. The part of the moon facing the sun is lit up, whereas the part facing away from the sun is in darkness. The moon takes 27.3 days to orbit the Earth, but the time from one full moon to the next is 29.5 days because Earth is also constantly moving and orbiting the sun. We call this period from one full moon to the next as the lunar month. Moon is an average of about 380,000 kilometers from Earth, which is pretty close, and because of its proximity, we don't need telescope to see features on the moon's surface from the Earth. Did you know? we always see the same side of the moon. As the moon rotates around the earth, it also rotates around its own axis at the same rate. This is why we always see the same side of the moon. Kids, do you think moon has also got water like our earth? No. There's no liquid water on moon, but there is some water in the form of ice. Recently, NASA spacecraft discovered nearly about 100 kilograms of ice and water vapor near the moon's south pole. And yes, this is possible that there is more buried under the surface of the moon. Even though there is no water on the moon, it has many interesting features such as craters, mountains, and lava plains. The dark patches on the moon's surface are plains, which are called seas or maria. They are called maria because very early astronomers thought that these areas on the moon were great seas. The later patches are mountains. And children, you can use a pair of binoculars on a clear night to see the craters formed by ancient meteors' collisions. Well, lot of debate held on how the moon got into its origin. Some scientists believe that it might have formed along with the Earth from the initial cloud of gas and dust that form our solar system. Another idea is, the moon was once a part of the Earth and then broke off for some reasons. Some said moon might be floating in our solar system and get captured by the Earth's gravity. Some suggest that any object of similar mass to that of Mars might have smashed into the Earth, creating a cloud of molten rock and eventually condense into the moon. Hey, have a look on the interior of the moon. Moon is basically a ball of igneous rocks and a small core of iron and nickel, and there is a rocky crust consisting of aluminium and calcium. You can find big moons in our solar system, but our moon is the biggest compared to the size of Earth, and it is large enough to cause tides in oceans due to its gravitational pull. You'll be surprised again to know that moon's gravitational force is only 17% of the Earth's gravity. For example, a 100-pound, 45 kg person would weigh only 17 pounds, that is 7.6 kilogram on the moon. Unlike Earth, the moon has no atmosphere, due to which the sky always appears dark, even on the bright side. Also, there can be no sound transmission on the moon, since sound waves travel through air, and the moon has no air. Did you know? On July 20, 1969, American Neil Armstrong became the first human to step on the moon. Summary. Let us summarize what we have learned. Moon is the Earth's only natural satellite. Moon appears bright because it reflects the sunlight falling on its surface. The moon takes 27.3 days to orbit the Earth. There is no liquid water on moon, but there is some water in the form of ice. Moon has many interesting features such as craters, mountains, and lava plains. The moon's gravitational force is only 17% of the Earth's gravity. The moon has no atmosphere, due to which there can be no sound transmission on moon.
Introduction. Mom, isn't it surprising that every day we sleep at night and wake up by the morning without any fail?
Yes, son. Our super senses enable us to do it every day without fail.
What is super senses, Mom?
Nervous system in our body enables us to do some special tasks. The way the nervous system guides us to perform these special tasks is called the super senses.
Mom, roosters also crow every morning without fail.
Yes, animals also have their own sensing abilities.
Let us learn about nervous system today. Human brain. Have you ever experienced such a situation? You are studying in your classroom, your mind drifts to your friend who has promised to play with you in the evening. A smile flashes on your face and then suddenly you are back to the moment. You look shyly at teacher, hoping she has not noticed your absence of mind. It is like your brain is always on the go. Brain controls the thinking and feeling, remembering the lessons you learn, way of moving and talking. Brain also enable you recognize the things by smelling, watching, hearing, etc. It is our brain that controls the things like beating of heart, tiredness of body and mind and digestion of the food. Similarly, animals also have the senses to see, hear, smell, taste and feel. Come, let us know about their superb abilities. Senses in animals. The animals have amazing senses to learn about the world. Some of them have sharper sights, keener smell, see, hear, feel, taste and smell. When you spread some sugar on the floor, within a short span of time, the ants come and collect it. They can smell the presence of sugar from distance. If some obstacle is created on the way of ants, the entire group changes the way. Ants can recognize their friends by smell. Sense of smell in insects. Ranjit went to visit his aunt during the short vacation in school and came back to house after a week. It was to his surprise that mosquitoes didn't disturb his sleep that night. However, next day was as usual. He could not sleep due to mosquito bites. Why mosquitoes came back next day in Ranjit's house? Mosquitoes attract towards human body by their smell and body heat. Due to absence of human being in the house, they flew away, but came back after their return. Sense of smell in animals. Let us learn about some peculiar habit of dogs. You might have watched dogs sniffing here and there. They do so to search their own place. The dogs generally scratch their area and drop some urine. This way, they mark their area and recognize later. Sense of smell in humans. Ranjit can reach his school by two ways. One is shorter and the other is longer. Ranjit always starts few minutes earlier from home because he wants to avoid the foul-smelling garbage heap on the shorter route. On the other hand, it is a good time to walk with the incense of mouth-watering food items being prepared at Haldiram's. Bird's eye. Ranjit gave a chapati to the dog in his neighborhood. By the time the dog could reach the chapati, an eagle came and took it away. He was surprised by saying this. Birds have the best eyes of all animals. Eagles, kites, vultures have 4 times sharper vision compared to humans. Birds turn around their head to see the things around them as their eyes are fixed. The brain directs them to turn the head to see the things around. Elephant's ear. The big ears of elephants enable them to hear sounds up to 5 miles away. You can have the experience how elephants are able to hear the sound at distance. Say hello and listen the sound. Now put your hands over your ears and again say hello. You will hear a louder hello this time. Animals can see limited colors. Different animals have different kind of color vision. Dogs, rats, rabbits have limited color vision. Monkeys, birds, and many fish can see a good range of colors. Some insects, like bees and butterflies, can see more colors than us. Animals talking with sounds. Langurs can make a special sound to warn other friends. Some birds make different warning sounds when the enemy comes from sky or ground. It alerts the other birds. Some animals behave in a strange manner when earthquake or storm has to come. You have heard the chirping birds. Birds and dolphins talk with sounds. Season-sensitive animals. You might have noticed that lizards disappear during winter. These animals are sensitive to season and go for a deep sleep for a certain period of a year. Frogs also sleep during the winter. Bears too sleep in winter due to shortage of food. In these sleeps, the bear's body temperature lowers and heart rate slows down to use less energy. Sleep-wake cycle in animals. Mom, do you know that sloth sleeps 17 hours a day while hanging upside down from a tree? It is a slow animal. While cows sleep only 4 hours a day. A python sleeps 18 hours a day. Giraffe sleeps only 2 hours a day. And a cat sleeps 12 hours a day.
Very good, Ranjit. You have learnt a lot about the animal sleep-wake cycle.
Senses in tiger. Kids, we all know that tiger is a very dangerous animal. They can see at night 6 times better than human beings. Tiger can sense the vibrations in air and can catch the prey at night. It has sharp hearing sense. They mark their area with their urine. Tiger roar can be heard from 3 kilometers distance. Interesting facts. A bloodhound can use its supernose to track a scent that is nearly 4 days old. That is why bloodhounds are used to track people who are lost. Pigeons can view 340 degrees everywhere except back of their heads. They can also detect very low sound, as low as 0.1 Hz. Falcon can see a 10 centimeter object from the distance of 1.5 kilometer. Bats cannot see in the dark. They use their ears at night to tell where they are flying. Some animals have super senses that are outside our experience. Summary. Let us summarize what we have learnt. Brain enables you recognize the things by smelling, watching, hearing, etc. The animals have amazing senses to learn about the world. Some of them have sharper sights, keener smell, see, hear, feel, taste and smell. Mosquito-like animals detect us by our body smell and heat. We can recognize our close ones by their body smell. Our brain directs us to avoid the foul smell and like the good smell. Birds have the best eyes of all animals. Big ears of elephants enable them to hear sound from long distance. Some animals can see limited colors, while bees and butterflies can see the colors we don't see. Some animals make special sounds to warn their friends from danger. Some animals behave strangely when natural calamities to occur. Some animals sleep during particular season.